Subtracting fractions give a lot of students trouble, so I want to go through some more examples of how we subtract fractions, especially subtracting mixed numbers. First example, 6 and 1/4 minus 2 and 3/5. Again, you see that I write them in the column so that I have my whole numbers lined up in a column and I have the fractions lined up in a column. I find that this is an easier way to work these subtraction problems rather than writing them out in a line. I look at my denominators. I need to find a common denominator. And the common denominator of 4 and 5 would be 20. 4 times 5 makes 20. Therefore, 1 times 5 gives us 5. 1/4 is 5/20. 5 times 4 gives us 20. 3 times 4 gives us 12. 3/5 is 12/20. Now, when we look at the problem, we are faced with figuring out how can we subtract 12 from 5. We have to borrow or regroup. We take 1 from the whole number column and bring it over here. So now we have 1 and 5/20, and we need to convert that into an improper fraction. The 1 is 20/20. 1 is 20/20. So 20/20 plus 5/20 gives us 25/20. Now, way to check this, a little shortcut method of checking it. This new numerator will be the total of this number and this number. The 5 and the 20 will always give us the new numerator. So now we have 25/20 minus 12/20, and that leaves 13/20. And in the whole number column, we have 2 from 5 gives us 3. Can 3 and 13/20 be simplified? No, it can't. So there is our final answer. Sometimes we have a problem that looks like this. We have a whole number minus a whole number and a fraction. A whole number minus a mixed number. There's no fraction here. We can write in 0/3 because, in fact, there are 0/3 there. What we have to do here is the same thing that we did in the previous example, regrouping, or some people call it borrowing. Take 1 from this column, and it goes here. 1 is 3/3. 3/3 plus 0/3 is 3/3. Now remember I told you in the previous example that this numerator here is always going to equal the sum of this number and this number. Well, 3 plus 0 is 3. So that is correct. Now we have 3/3 minus 1/3 is 2/3, and 2 from 6 is 4. Can that be simplified? No, it can't. It's in its simplest form. So there is our final answer. One more example. And I hope you're catching on to this now. We pretty much do the same thing each time. 4 and 1/5 minus 1 and 2/3. There's our problem. Again, we need to find a common denominator. And in this case, the common denominator is going to be, do you know? 15. I hope you got that right. And 5 times 3 is 15. 1 times 3 is 3. 1/5 is 3/15. How many 15ths is 2/3? Well, 3 times 5 makes 15. 2 times 5 gives us 10. So 2/3 is 10/15. Again, we need to borrow here 1 3/15 is going to give us, well, 3 and 15 is 18. 18/15. 10 from 18 leaves 8. What kind? 15ths. So we have 8/15, and 1 from 3 is 2. Can this answer be simplified, or is it already in its simplest form? Well, there is no number other than 1 that divides evenly into both 8 and 15. So indeed, this answer is in its simplest form. I hope you're catching on to subtracting fractions and that these will never give you any problems. Just follow the steps, 1, 2, 3, and you'll get the right answer.